I feel like if I never appreciated the little things, then how am I going to appreciate the bigger things if I'm not appreciating the smaller steps that took me to the bigger thing? Hi everyone, I'm Jhanine.kianna and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's episode of Stepping into Womanhood, I have a series of things that I'm learning in my 20s and things that you need to learn in your 20s. I'm currently 22 and I'll be turning 23 this year on July 12th, save the date. Number one is discovering and embracing your identity. I wrote a little bit of notes so that I'm able to explain fully what these meant to me so that you guys can have a better perspective. All right, so your 20s are a time for self-discovery, taking the time to understand who you are, what you value, and what makes you feel confident and fulfilled. I feel like when we are in our 20s, we are so focused on what's going on around us. We're focusing on everybody else's journey, and we lack self-discovery and self-reevaluation. And I feel like that is something that I have been doing for the past 2 years, and something that I continuously am doing while I'm building friendships and building relationships. I'm also self-discovering, seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like, seeing what makes me happy, and seeing what is fulfilling to me as a 22-year-old and also a woman of God. Like, self-discovery is super important, and I feel like that is one of the first things that you need to learn in your 20s, is being able to embrace who you are, embrace the things that make you you, and kind of figure out where in my self-discovery do I feel like I need to change something, or something that probably isn't benefiting the lifestyle or the person that I want to become. Number two is setting boundaries and protecting your energy. Learning how to say no without guilt. Protect your time, mental health, and emotional energy by establishing healthy boundaries in relationships and even at work. So learning how to say no. In my last video, thing that I'm leaving in 2024, is I talked about learning how to say no as someone who wants to always be doing something, as someone who wants to make sure that people who are around you feel comfortable being around you. It tends to kind of put you in a place where you start becoming a people pleaser, and you start feeling like, okay, you don't want to make anyone unhappy, so you're gonna always say yes to every single thing. That is not okay. That is not okay. Set those boundaries and stand firm on those boundaries. Don't allow people to guilt trip you in feeling like, okay, because you have these high standards and these high boundaries that you're setting for yourself, is because you are trying to feel as if you are better than people. Being able to protect your peace and your energy is super important, because it is a way, and a lot of time people don't understand that setting boundaries doesn't mean that you are distancing yourself from someone. It is more of knowing that what not setting this boundary could possibly cause, and trying to protect that peace and that energy within yourself. Take those mental health breaks. Don't allow people to kind of force their perspective on mental health to you. Don't allow people to kind of force their perspective on how you to deal with your mental health. Whatever works for you works for you. If that looks like taking a self-care day, if that looks like going to therapy, if that looks like traveling, if that looks like sitting in the shower and just allowing the water to run over you, that is your mental health day, and please take that seriously. Focusing on your financial independence. I broke this down a little bit. Start building solid financial foundations. Educate yourself about budgeting, saving, and investing. Financial independence is empowering. And as a woman, that is something that is super important for you to take on as a new hobby or new life skill, is how can I build my knowledge in my finances? How can I have more financial literacy that will possibly help me to have a better future? Start building solid financial foundation, learning how to save, learning how to budget. That is definitely something that I can say I am proud of myself for this year. This year, I've learned so much about budgeting. I've learned so much about managing my finances, and I'm truly proud of myself. One of the main things that I've always told myself, that even though I'm in college and I'm going to college to get a degree and possibly work in the field that I have dreamed to work in, that doesn't mean that I'm going to only depend on that one career for the lifestyle that I want to provide for myself. And that is why providing solid financial foundations is super important, and investing in your future is super important. Building a strict budget, building a strict investment plan is super important for you to have the kind of lifestyle that you want. So learning how to invest in stocks, trades, learning how to create a business. For me personally, I've always told myself, and my mom has always said this, is whatever field you're going into, make sure that you can build a business out of it for yourself. I'm a digital media major, and one of my aspirations after finishing working in the news and reporting and journalism field, I really want to own my own talk show or podcast, and that is a way for me to build income out of what I have built for myself in the career that I'm currently pursuing. And I talked about this, prioritizing self-care and wellness, taking care of your body, your mind, exercising regularly, that is for me, nourishing meals, mental health practices like therapy or journaling will keep you grounded. For me, as I mentioned earlier, like whatever mental health or therapy looks like for you, take that seriously and don't allow someone to kind of project their own perspective or idea of what that looks like onto you. I feel like taking care of yourself and your body is super important. We're still young and we still have our joints working properly. Make use of that. Number 5, learning the power of networking. And I feel like this is also super important. Let me dive a little bit into what the notes that I wrote under this. Building meaningful connections can open doors in both your personal and professional life. Surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you. This is so important, especially if you are a college student like myself. Networking is super important. When I tell you network. I attend a historically Black college and I'm a part of an organization called the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and TMCF has really opened so many doors and opportunities for me to network. I've met so many people, I've been in so many rooms that I've never imagined that I would be in with people who are part of Fortune 100 companies. So I've had so many opportunities to network, and when I've been in those spaces, I made use of those opportunities and I networked, I got contacts, I got LinkedIn connections, Instagram connections. Like whatever you can do, don't forget to network. If you're in a space where you are around people that you're not, possibly not the regular college student is going to be in, make use of that opportunity and create lifelong connections. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. The saying that says, show me your friends and it'll tell you the type of person you are, is so real. Surround yourself around people who are uplifting. Surround yourself around people who are confident. Surround yourself around people who are always trying to evolve themselves. Surround yourself around people who are positive and also like-minded, because that would also help you to know that I'm in a space surrounded by people who are always going, and it'll kind of push you to always be on that same level, kind of push you to always know that, okay, I'm not going to settle for where I am in life right now. In my last video, I also talked about taking risks. So I'm going to dive a little bit more into this, but taking risks, but taking calculated risks. You're not just going to say one day, okay, I'm going to just jump at this and do that without actually thinking about what you're doing. That's not what I'm saying right here. Taking calculated risk and embracing your growth. I've always talked about being intentional with your journey and being content in your journey. Content not in a sense where you feel like, okay, if I'm in this place, I want to stay in this place forever. That's not what I mean about content. But being content in a sense where you are appreciating every aspect of your journey. Every time when I talk about journey, I've always told people that embrace every single part of your journey, because I've always felt like every single aspect of my journey has shaped me into the person I am today. And I feel like if I never appreciated the little things, then how am I going to appreciate the bigger things if I'm not appreciating the smaller steps that took me to the bigger thing? Clock it. So embrace your growth, knowing that you're not going to always be 21, you're not going to always be 22, you're not going to always be 19, 16. So embrace your growth, embrace and knowing that every day you're changing, every day you're learning new things, and those new things are changing your thought process. Those new things are changing the way you talk, the way you interact with people. So embrace that growth, embrace that journey, and know that it is going to be worth it. Knowing that growth often happens when you challenge yourself. So that to say that is to say that if you are stuck in one level, then how are you going to experience growth if you're not challenging yourself to see how far you can go? So again, really embrace those accomplishments and how far you've come. I know that you are destined for greatness. You have such a bright future ahead of you, and just be intentional about your journey. Be intentional about who you are. Be intentional about who you want to become. Always remember that keeping God in the center of everything you do is pivotal in your journey. And so that is the end of this video. I hope you learned something. If you're in your 20s and you've never heard this before, then I'm so grateful to be the person who is going to give you this information. If you love my content and you'd really love to see more of me, then like, comment, share, and subscribe.